Guys, big news. The Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit coming down off the top rope, smacking down the Department of Veterans Affairs for their incredible delay in issuing rules on characterization of discharge regulations. Okay, maybe I'm just too excited. We're lawyers, right? Like, we're not exciting people by nature. In fact, I'm just thrilled people are watching my YouTube channel and following along because some of this stuff is quite nerdy. Maybe it's helpful, maybe it's not. I don't know. I digress. A couple weeks ago, months ago, I don't know, time is a flat circle, I released a video that talked about characterization discharge rules and SUED to Plowshares, which is a veteran service organization out on the West Coast, asking the VA to update their incredibly confusing characterization of discharge regulations. And I ask you to go back to that video and take a look at what I talk about. And I've got some other videos on characterization discharge. I'm not going to go into full details here about that process because it's confusing, and I've already spoken about it once. So let's talk about what they sued for. They said, hey, VA, in 2016, you agreed to change the rules on characterization discharge and help them make sense, right? Because prior to that, and actually even currently, the rules are a mess. They're unclear. They don't really give clear guidance. They don't really give strong standards on when the VA should consider something honorable versus other than dishonorable versus dishonorable. It's a mess. So SUED to Plowshares said to the VA, hey, start the rulemaking process, right? Start the rulemaking process that involves notice and comment, all this other stuff. Start it, get the ball rolling. And eventually 2016, the VA said, sure, you're right. We're going to get started. So let me go over the timeline a little bit here. The Department of Veterans Affairs, they started the rulemaking process in 2016. They published a proposed rule in 2020. They received 70 comments, and they issued a request for information in 2021. Since that time, and I'm reading from the order here, the department states that it has gathered information and held listening sessions, drafted multiple versions of the rule, conducted interagency meetings, received and evaluated feedback, and recommended its course of action to the Secretary. But again, nothing's actually happened with regards to releasing the rules. So here's how the Court of Appeals from the Federal Circuit, after receiving this lawsuit from SUED to Plowshares, reacted. We are certainly troubled by the amount of time it has taken the DVA, Department of Veterans Affairs, to conduct these rulemaking proceedings. Nevertheless, the DVA has now submitted final amended rules to the Office of Information and Regulatory Affairs for review, and the Secretary represents to this court in his response that 150 days would be sufficient to finalize the rulemaking process. We conclude that this is proper under these circumstances to deny the petition without prejudice to petitioners again seeking mandamus, which is how you sue and try to get a government agency to do something, if the DVA should fail to take final action by April 15th, 2024. Basically, what the court is saying here is like, guys, this is taking way too long. You said you needed 150 days to finish this process, which if you work with the VA, is way faster than they do anything, seemingly. Finish it by April 15th, 2024, or we're going to come back to this and we're going to have some more words. And I feel bad for the Department of Veterans Affairs attorney that has to go into the Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit and say, hey, I know this has taken us 8 years and we asked for 150 more days, because it is not going to go well for that attorney or the department. What could the Court of Appeals for Federal Claims do? I'm actually not 100% sure what the relief would be. But again, if you follow the courts, which I would have no reason to suspect any of the average people out there would do so, but if you follow the appellate courts, this is actually kind of a big deal that the Court of Appeals for Federal Claims has come down and said, guys, fix this, and fix it yesterday. And if you don't fix it by April 15th, 2024, we're going to come back here and you better have some explaining as to why this is the way it is. Interesting update, or at least that's why I thought it was interesting. My fellow VA disability benefits lawyer nerds, administrative law nerds, we all thought this was interesting. In any event, maybe you find it interesting too. If you do, like, subscribe, comment in the section below. Until next time, take care.